welcome Robert Twixx Taylor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good evening.
Good evening.
No, more energy. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, I'm Robert Whitfield Taylor, known as Twixx. I'm going to try to do these 3 things less than 10 minutes. The first thing I'm going to do is it'll be a flashback in time. The second thing will be an actual just telling the truth. And the third thing is having a plan. So let me go with the flashback in time first. So for those who've been in Las Vegas in 1996, you would know that the Meadows Mall, at that time period, they had a negative connotation. They were called the Ghettos Mall. And the Boulevard Mall was doing great. At that time period, if you worked in the Meadows Mall, you were used to the Boulevard Mall selling 3 times the amount as your store. Example, Foot Locker, Boulevard Mall would do 30,000 in one day. Meadows Mall would do 10,000 in one day. That was the norm. So my senior year in high school in 1996, in this flashback, I was hired at Coda. It was known for the 2 for 30 jeans or the 2 for 20 shirts. Now, I started off being the stock boy. Then I worked my way up to being an actual salesman. I told the manager, I said, well, I'm not a salesman. I don't know how to sell to people. He said, no, just make sure you tell them the right stuff. I don't believe in that. So what I did was I told people the truth, and it worked. So not only did it work, I ended up being the top salesman of that Coda, and then ended up being the top salesman of Coda in Las Vegas, and even in the region, California, Arizona, and Las Vegas. So because of that hard work and telling the truth and explaining to people what they need to wear, the regional manager named Ernell flew down to Las Vegas to see me, and he said, Twixx, how are you selling more than everybody? I said, I just tell the truth. Like, what do you mean? I said, I just tell the truth and I have a plan. And then he said, well, give me an example. I said, well, if you came in here and you went in the dress room and came out with a shirt and pants and you asked me did I like it, first of all, I'll say, how do you like it, right? Then I would tell you my opinion. Well, me personally, I wouldn't wear those pants with that shirt. I would wear this. The truth part is I wouldn't wear that. The plan is I would wear this. And because of that, I got their trust. And because of that, I ended up being the best salesman. Now, pause that. That's a flashback. The correlation of that story to now is me running for mayor. I'm going to continue doing the same thing that made me be successful in the retail industry, that made me a successful businessman. It's telling the truth and having a plan. So let's start with the truth. We started with what? The truth. All right, the truth is I'm born and raised in North Las Vegas. And my entire life in North Las Vegas, we've been treated less than. We've been treated like the little brother of Las Vegas, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of living in a city that we don't have one car dealership. I'm tired of living in a city to where if I were to die tomorrow, I can get buried in the same city that I love, because no burial sites. I'm tired of being in a city to where we only have 1.04 police officers when the national average is 2 police officers for every 1,000 people. And you wonder why crime is going up. That's the truth. I live in a city that where in 2003, less than half the population now, but still have the same amount of firefighters, the same amount of police officers. We have growing pains, and we need somebody who cares of the structure of the city to make that happen. Now, North Las Vegas doesn't have one license plate. You go to the DMV, we have 35 license plates. We don't have one license plate of the city of North Las Vegas. To get a license plate, what do you need, Robert Taylor? What you need is a nonprofit, any nonprofit, to attach to the license plate. So now every time somebody buys that license plate in their DMV, a percentage of that money goes towards the nonprofit. I have a thing called Section Great. I want to take people off of Section 8 into home ownership, because in 55 years, Black people have owned the least amount of houses that we ever owned, and that's ridiculous. Me being a homeowner multiple times, I understand the power of equity, how equity could change your life. I understand the fastest way to become wealthy in America is home ownership, but nobody, especially even our people, are not telling us that. See, all Black problems aren't so-called broke problems. All Hispanic problems aren't so-called border problems. We are diverse as a community. We live everywhere now, and we have to talk about home ownership. We need somebody who's about to talk about that in general. And that's one of the things I have in place. Craig Ranch Park is a huge park. We have a lot of space at Craig Ranch Park. We need to have it to where the city of North Las Vegas, once I'll be elected mayor with your vote, and the other councilmen, because the mayor is a part of the council, we work together. There's 4 wards and 5 votes. 4 wards, councilmen, 1 vote as the mayor, so you understand the dynamics of it. So with that being said, if we were to get a building that was at least 16,000 square feet, we could now get 10 different units to have 10 different nonprofits inside of it. And each nonprofit has to be different in a specific way to communicate towards our community. It could be for veterans, it could be the senior citizens, it could be the people with autism. But now when you go to Craig Ranch Park, besides of us having a concert here and there, you actually are at the park where nonprofits are doing something for the community, and they're right there. And every year, we will award 10 different nonprofits a free space to do your nonprofit work. And after that year, you graduate, and hopefully with the exposure the city of North Las Vegas gave you, now you can actually get a brick and mortar business, and hopefully you will stay in North Las Vegas, which adds to what? The C-tax of the city. We need more things for tourism. We need more things for the community. I remember, for those who have been in Las Vegas, the hydro tubes. We love that. Once they took that away in the early 90s, what did we start doing? Kids started breaking their houses, started gangbanging, because we had nothing to do. See, a lot of our black leaders are from the West Side, which is great. And we think of black people, West Side, but I'm from North Las Vegas, and nobody ever cared about North Las Vegas. Nobody ever came to Regal Estates, Casa Rosa, Rose Garden, Donna Street, Delmonico, and cleaned up or talked to us. I went to J.D. Smith, Cheyenne. Nobody came to our schools who looked like us and talked to us. That's why the past 20 years, I've been to every single high school in North Las Vegas and most junior high schools in Las Vegas and elementaries, talking to these kids, letting them see who's a business owner who've hired over 300 people in the last 21 years to help give people a career and job. When it comes to having a plan, once people have a career, it changes everything. Half of my male barbers are convicted felons. As you know, 75% rate go back to prison in the next 3 years. Not one, let me repeat that, not one of my barbers have been back to prison since they got their barber's license, okay? Now I'm gonna wrap it up. With that being said, that shows people a few things that we already know. A lot of times people get us mixed up and misconstrued and miscalculated. We don't want a hand out, we want a hand up. Let me know where it is, and I'll go get it. See, there's no president, governor, alderman, councilman who can change your life, but all these people need to give you the tangible information who can change your life. And that's what I am. I'm at the prime of my life. I don't have to run. I'm running because I am North Las Vegas. I'm from the city of North Las Vegas, and I will die hopefully in North Las Vegas if I don't move to Africa. And that's why I'm running, to make a change. And let me tell you some numbers about voting so everybody knows these numbers real quick. This is very important. North Las Vegas has 4 wards. How many wards does it have? 4 wards. Now, Ward 1, if you know Donna Street area, that's Ward 1 area. Ward 2 is where I live at, off of MLK at Alexander. Ward 3 is more like a Craig Road and a Ann Road. And Ward 4 is Aliante. The sad thing when it comes to us being the diverse city or the majority minority city, look at these numbers. Ward 4 so far has over 2,300 votes. That's Aliante. Ward 3, only 1,800 votes. Ward 2, 1,200 votes. Ward 1, 1,000 votes. See, the same people who want change are complaining about the change, but we're not changing and getting up and voting. So that's how you have a so-called minority city who still get treated like the minority, because the real minorities have majority of the power because we're not voting. We need you to vote, and tell all your friends and family members to vote. I can't tell you to vote for me. I wish you would. I wish you could, Robert Twixx Taylor. But I need you to vote in general, because this is a part of all of us. This is part of our community equity. You are stakeholders in this city. You are here because you care. So please don't get home and act like you don't care. Please grab your ballots and vote. Thank you very much. Taylor Ford, NLP Mayor. How long was that? Thank you so much.